and welcome to a not running vlog, because if you didn't see last week's video, I have injured myself, which means unfortunately I am not running. So I'm going to give you an update on the injury situation later in the video, so stay tuned if you're interested in that. Coming up also shortly, I'm going to be asking a new question and I'll be answering it for myself, but I'm also interested to know your point of view and your experiences. But first of all, I must correct a wrong. I must right a wrong, because last week I intended to mention something in the video, completely forgot. So here's a quick recap. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking about my kind of rubbishy PE experiences at school and how it didn't really encourage me to take part in any kind of physical activity. If you want to watch the video, there is a link in the video description below. But, and this is the important thing, I didn't mention last week, I didn't say to everyone, look, you must go and read the comments, because sometimes what I do is I pick out comments that people have left in videos, put them up on the screen, a little bit of a montagey kind of effect. But some people left some fantastic comments, really interesting stories of their experiences, and it would not do them justice for me to kind of cherry pick bits out of those comments. You really need to read them all in full because they are so interesting, and thank you very much to everyone who left a comment. So now on to this week's question of what I want to ask you about, what your experiences are, because I'm going to tell you mine. And it kind of leads on from those videos that I've just been talking about, the whole PE thing and how it was like a load of rubbish for me, really. So I wanted to ask the question, what got you running? If you're a runner, why did you start running? For example, on Strava, I follow a lot of people, and you can see that it's kind of like a family thing. There'll be siblings, there'll be couples, there'll be like fathers and daughters and that sort of thing that all run, and it's really nice to see. It's really nice to see that it's something that people can do together, which is great. But there will be other people like myself who kind of run on your own. So what then got you going? Why did you start running? Or if you're thinking about running, what is stopping you from getting out there and actually just having a go? So I'll be interested in that, but I thought I'd explain really how I got running, because I'm one of those kind of lone runners, one of those people who just goes out kind of off their own bat. And it does carry on from, and well, it's even more of a good question, why did I start? Because of the fact that my school experiences were so bad. I'm gonna stop here for a moment, get my breath back. And it all kind of goes back, I suppose there's sort of like something that happened that kind of pushed me down that route. Although I'd always known in the back of my mind that I needed to do something more physical. I mean, I had done a little bit of kind of sporty stuff, but it'd all been quite sort of sedentary sports, really. I did a bit of snooker, a bit of darts, a bit of golf. I wasn't very good at any of them, but they were quite, they don't really get your heart racing. They do, as you watch your golf ball kind of head towards a lake or a stream or something. That can get the heart rate up when you think how many golf balls you're going through. But seriously though, it wasn't really proper exercise as such. So I kind of always knew that. I knew that I should be doing some exercise, but I suppose it's then you get into you get into the whole adult thing, and you're kind of just going through your day-to-day stuff. What we all do, and I think we all fall into this. A bit like I can describe this as if you move into a house. It doesn't matter how large or small the house is, we all tend to kind of fill the house, fill the available space that we've got, and think, I know, I need a bigger house for all my stuff. So you move to a bigger house, and then you fill that house up with all the crap that you've got, and you're never in a house that's big enough for you, because you just expand to fill the available space. And it's a bit like that with your kind of day-to-day, where we're creatures of habit, humans. We kind of just do what we do, and we kind of fill the time up. We just fill the day up, don't we, with stuff? I mean, yes, we have all got a lot to do, but we kind of still manage to kind of just fill our time. And you get into habit, you get into routines, you go shopping on the same day, you do things at the same day, the same times. We're just terrible like that. So if you don't have a kind of exercisey thing in your life, then it means that you probably won't shoehorn that in unless something happens to kind of push you in down that road. And that's what happened to me. Something happened. And this is probably about 5 or 6 years ago now. I can't remember exactly when. And I put my back out. Now, I'd always had a little bit of lower back problems, but nothing that had ever stopped me from doing anything. And on this particular day, been doing a bit of work outside. I've been lifting things about, and I could feel my back twinging a bit, but that was nothing unusual. At the end of the day, I went to climb up the stairs, went to turn, and my back went. Couldn't go up, couldn't go down. and it was agony. Now, I suspect, ladies, that childbirth probably smarts a bit, but I'm a bloke and therefore have a lower pain threshold, and this was absolute agony. It really hurt. And to cut a long story short, saw my GP. NHS was absolutely fantastic. Went to physio, and the physio kind of got me through it. It took a number of weeks, and I never 100% got over it, probably 95%. I've always got a little bit of something going on there, but it was fantastic. NHS was absolutely brilliant, and it got me out the other side. But it did make me think. It made me think, yeah, this is bad. This is something that I need to sort out. And I think the reason perhaps that it kind of came to a head like that is because I mentioned in last week's video, a couple of weeks ago, that I used to do a lot of walking. I'm out walking now. But when I started working for myself, working from home for myself, set up on my own, I kind of stopped doing that. And I used to just go out and walk maybe at the weekends with the dogs, and I didn't go out during the day for myself, where I had been when I'd been working for an employer and commuting, and I stopped doing that. So when I did my back in and I was healthy again, I decided, well, I'm going to change that, and so I changed my day round. I worked for myself so I could do that. And I used to go out then for a walk, maybe do a couple of hours work in the morning, go out, take the dogs for a walk, come back, work a bit in the afternoon, and I might have to do a bit in the evenings, a bit in the weekends to make up like a full working week. But that's fine. I could do that, and I do that now. I've been doing that for years now, and it's great, particularly in the winter. Get out in a bit of daylight, so it actually works well all round. It's very rare that I have something going on that has to be done. That means I can't go out for that walk. It's really important. I really enjoy that. The other thing that I did was to get myself a sit-stand desk. I probably spend 3/4 of the day standing up. I haven't, well, I've been injured actually. I've been sitting down all day and I'm not enjoying it. I really do like standing up to work. They're really good, those sit-stand desks, really like that. If you can't afford a big sit-stand desk, then you can get little things that you can just put your computer on to lift up. They work quite well as well, so they're quite good. And I knew then that as well, the other thing that I had to do really was to do something that was going to get my heart rate up, to do some proper physical activity that was going to get my heart rate going, some proper exercise. So I quite fancied the idea of running. Years and years ago, I tried to go to a gym and I just didn't have the motivation for it. So I need to do a bit of running. So I sort of put some crappy clothes on and I went out to a lamppost and back, and I thought the next day I'll go to the second lamppost, the next day the third lamppost. But it wasn't very well structured, it wasn't very well organised, it just wasn't a very good idea, frankly. And I think I made it to the third lamppost before I gave up. It didn't inspire me to kind of carry on, you know what I mean? And it was probably a couple of years later that I was surfing the BBC website and I was reading some sport headlines, probably something to do with how rubbish my local Premiership side was doing at the time. And I saw one of these little panels that you can click on, that, you know, clickbait, want you to click on to read more stuff about whatever's on the website. And it was something, I can't remember what the headline was, but it was something about running and a program. I can't remember what it was, but the article was all about Couch to 5K. I'd never heard of Couch to 5K. I didn't know what it was. It seems to be more about it generally around the place now. Maybe it's because I've done it, that's why I hear about it, I don't know. But at the time, I'd never heard of it. I had no idea what it was. But by the time I got to the end of this article, I thought, this sounds like what I need. This is what I've been missing. This is just it. So the rest, as they say, is history, because I then started vlogging my attempts at Couch to 5K, and there's loads of videos. There's 9 videos covering all 27 runs of the Couch to 5K on this channel. That's the history. So that is how I got started in running, and I think it was the thing that was missing from my life, really, and it's been such a positive thing. Also, what I actually then discovered, which was a revelation to me, is that running and fitness is fun. It's not a chore, it's actually good fun. And the other thing is that there's loads of people out there, even people who are sort of semi-professional, who will be only too willing to offer you advice and help, and are really pleased when you do well. It's a really positive thing. The whole community is really positive. Everybody just wants everybody else to do their best and to be their best, and it's great. Of course, there is that competitive edge if you want to take it that far, but even that's done in a good spirit. But if you're just like me and you just want to do it for reasons of getting fitter, the support that's out there in the community is immense, and it's fantastic. And that's been it's been a wonderful thing. It's laid all those ghosts to rest, I think, from those old PE days for me. I've come full circle. And the whole thing is just massively beneficial and positive, and I'm really pleased that I did it. So what got you running? If you run, and if you're thinking about it, what's putting you off? I'd love to hear what you've got to say about it. Post your comments below. Lucky to live by the sea. It's been really rough out there recently, the last 2 or 3 days. It's so different off when you go on the beach. It's although it's the same beach, it can be the same beach. There's other places that I go to along the coast, but this beach that I go to quite a lot can be different every time you go to it because of the tides and things move about, and yeah, it's amazing. So it's been quite something actually, seeing all the waves. Anyway, enough of that. Let's give you an injury update. As you can see, I'm walking quite well, which is a good thing. So I am getting out, I'm walking every day, so that's good. Pain actually is kind of pretty much gone, I would say. Just as a quick recap, I injured myself down or between my kind of heel or ankle bone, and yeah, that's where I've injured myself before, so it's kind of ancient history for me. It's Groundhog Day. I've done it before, and but this time it's not as bad. Clearly, I probably could venture out running now. Probably, it's still doesn't quite look 100%. It's still been a little bit bruised recently, the last 2 or 3 days, but it's been going, you know, the bruising's been disappearing. It's still a little bit swollen maybe, but what I'm doing is some exercises, and I want to start kind of ramping those exercises up a bit and then build up to going out. And somebody actually suggested in one of the comments that I should talk about some of the exercises that I'm doing. I'm always a little bit wary of doing stuff like that because I don't want you to start doing exercises that I'm doing myself, because every injury is different, everybody's at a different stage. So what I'm doing may not necessarily be the right thing for you, even if you've got the same injury. So it's really important to take professional advice. The people who get paid the big bucks, who've done all the university courses, they know what they're talking about, and they're worth going to see. If you've got an injury and it's not going away, they kind of know what they're doing. But anyway, what I did, first 48 hours, did a cold compress, helped to bring the swelling down. You can of course do a hot one as well. You can do a warm one, but that's not what you do straight away. But the warm one will kind of increase blood flow and can help with the healing process. But to start off with, I did the cold compress, and that did help bring the swelling down, there's no doubt about it. And then exercises wise, well, there's a few that I've been doing. One that I'm going to start this week so I'm doing this backwards here. One I'm going to start this week is where you kind of stand on a step, so like on your stairs or something, like your toe, and your heel's kind of hanging over the step, and you kind of go down and up and down and up and down and up, a little bit like that. And that's one that the physio gave me at the time when I did this same injury, but it's not one that you want to start when you've just done it. That's one for kind of later on, so it's kind of a strength building exercise, I think. Another one is, there's like, you get a solid ball, so not a squishy ball, a solid ball, and then your foot, you're kind of rolling it around on that foot there. He did call that something, can't remember what it was, but I think that's again to do with kind of loosening things up. Sorry if I'm getting technical. Another one is you get one of these like a stretchy bands, sport bands, and I put that, like, loop it around my toes, and then attach that onto to somewhere off on 90 degrees, so onto a door, perhaps not a door, so I'll move around, but something like a door handle you could do, I suppose, or a chair or something like that, and then kind of you're sort of reacting against it, you're pulling against it, and again that's like a strength building exercise. You're pulling against it and pulling and then holding it in a position and then back. There was one where I was doing last time, I think it was one where you go back and then release and then back and then release, and there was another one where you pull and then you hold it for so many seconds and then go back. So anyway, it's something like that. I'll have to kind of see if I can find the notes of exactly how I did it last time. So that one I haven't done. So I'm kind of been starting with the kind of gentle ones, and then moving up to some ones that are going to be a little bit more, I suppose, not strain's the wrong word, but they're strengthening anyway. And I'm hoping then that if I do those, it's going to put me in a better position to get back out there and do a bit of running, maybe in a week or two, but I think I could probably have had a crack at it now, but I'd rather do some of these strengthening things, and then when I've done those for a few days or a week or so, then think about it. But I definitely don't want to go back too early. That's the trick. I want to make sure I go back, you know, when I'm ready. But certainly now walking, where maybe a week ago I would have had enough by now, it's feeling quite good, so I'm quite positive I'll be back out there before you know it. Anyway, this video's been quite long enough again, and it's me just looking like a Burke with my hat on and my coat and not actually running, so I'm going to make that do for now. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to post those comments about the subject, why you got running or why you might think about getting out running. I would love to hear what you've got to say about that, and I will see you for a video next week. Bye for now.